Hello everyone. This video is brought to you by Minnesota Aging Pathways, formerly known as the Senior Linkage Line. Now that we have selected and entered our medications and our pharmacies, we can now look at providers. On this page, there's a basic search function where you can enter the provider's first name and the provider's last name and then search for providers. If you do not wish to add providers or search for them, you can click down here on this button to just continue on to view plans. You could also call the company to confirm if your providers are in network for the plan that you are looking at. So let's try adding some providers here. It's going to be best to try to get the full and exact spelling of your provider's name. This will help to speed up the search process and get better results. For instance, if I were to just type in the name Tom and select search providers, this gave me 0 results. So again, for this search, we've been using the zip code 55802, and it defaults to a search within 50 miles of that zip code that we've entered. As of this recording, the distance that it goes to is 50 miles. This could change in the future. So let's click here and we'll clear this search and we'll just start over. And this time let's enter Thomas. Search providers. Now we've gotten 15 results. And there's just a notice here about checking to see if the provider has multiple office locations and if your plan's network only covers one of those locations. Again, we want to make sure that this plan that we're going to select is going to work with your providers. And as I scroll down here, it's showing me all the ones that came up, and I'm looking for my provider. And here's the one I was looking for. And you can see here that each one of these has a caret that you can click on here for one location. And here we see it's 400 East 3rd Street, Duluth, Minnesota, 55805. And I know that that's the location that I go to see this professional. So I'm going to click on Add Provider. And you can see that a blue box pops up down here, similar to the pharmacy. And at this time, we can add up to 5 providers here. If this was the only one I was concerned about or needed to, I could continue to view plans. Let's add a few more. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top here. I'm going to clear search. And just because we've already entered one here, it gives us just that reminder of what we can do. So for this time, let's go with the last name because that's all I could remember for this provider. And I knew it was Olson, but I could not remember the first name. Search providers. Here we see options that came up. And I'm looking for Holden Olson for physical therapy. I'm going to check the locations. I use one of those two. So I'm going to add provider. I could continue or I could add more. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page here. I'm going to clear search. And this time I've only seen this provider a couple of times and I just cannot remember the full name. I know the last name starts with Riz. So let's try that just in case we get an option. Search providers. There's only one result, but it is the one that I'm looking for. I'm going to check the location. It's the location that I use. Add provider. I could continue on and I could add 2 more, or I could remove these. I could also continue to view plans. All right, we've gone through and we've used the tool here to add the 3 providers that we were looking for. So we can continue on to view plans. And just to note that if we do select any providers for this, it will give us an option to view plans that only show those providers. You can see here we have the tab for providers. We can select one of them. Hit apply. It has now refreshed and it went down from 18 plans to 14 plans for this search. We were clicking on providers again, and you can only do one at a time for this search. So you might have to do this a couple of times and take note. So what we're trying to do here is narrow down the plans that match our providers and our needs.